Before there was Magnum P.I., before there was Jim Rockford, there was Dick Tracy. The first Dick Tracy comic book hit the stands 50 years ago this month. And thanks to an El Cajon company, the crime-fighting spirit of the square-jawed detective lives on. Bob Lawrence has the story.
The profile is unmistakable. Dick Tracy seemed to know all the answers. He could outthink the best of the worst elements in his comic strip society. There was very little subtlety about the characters. Their names usually told you everything about their personalities. And you could quickly tell which side of the law and order issue they came down on. The comics led to motion pictures with real actors, but still the same kind of campy behavior creator Chester Gould built into his stories.
Oh, I was expecting someone else.
Are you Jules Sparkle?
Yes.
I'm Dick Tracy, Homicide Squad.
Tracy was always the gentleman, even with filthy Flora, the saloon owner.
I ain't done nothing wrong, dearie. Honest, I ain't.
Relax. This is purely a social call.
The movies were popular, but they could never outreach the illustrated adventures, with 200 million readers weekly. Dick Tracy comic books came out 7 years after the newspaper strip. Just after World War II, a new feature was added to the Dick Tracy Sunday comics. It was called Crime Stoppers Textbook, and the advice in it is just as appropriate today as it was then. This Crime Stoppers page has what is called interesting facts. Burglaries occur at the rate of 1 a minute in the USA, so organize a stop crime unit on your block. Sound familiar? Illustrator Shel Dorf works for Blackthorne Publishers, the El Cajon company that reprints the old Dick Tracy comic books. He knew Chester Gould and says the Crime Stoppers messages were authentic.
Bob, he had a retired policeman who just loved to do this research for that particular panel, and this Tiny Huntsman was his name.
Now that sounds like a Dick Tracy character. Some old issues of Dick Tracy comics sell for nearly $3,000, if you can find them.
During the war, they had a lot of paper drives, and people were bringing bundles of newspapers, comic strips, comic books, and they were getting recycled for the war effort, so as a result, very few have survived since then.
Chester Gould died a few years ago, but thanks to the Blackthorne reprints, Dick Tracy lives on.
He was a showman, I think, first of all. He never grew tired of telling a story. He had even started a strip after Dick Tracy called Checkout Chickie, The Adventures of a Supermarket Checkout Girl.
Checkout Chickie is yet to be published, but Dick Tracy will never die. Bob Lawrence, KNSD News, San Diego.
Check out Chickie.
Yeah, I think the climate's wrong for that now.
No kidding.
It's better than it was 10 years ago, but it's bad.
I remember as a kid reading the little Crime Stopper segment in the Sunday comics.
And they actually do finally have televisions that you can wear on your wrist.
Right. Well, this has been